All right. So we're talking about Right Now Technologies tonight. And our first question, if I can find it, it's here somewhere. Our first question, I think, is the hardest question. What value would you place on Right Now Technology? Anybody come up with a value?
Sure. I took the easy way out.
Ah, what's that?
Well, I figured he's got a good offer there at $50 million. Now it asks for a range, so I thought that if it's good for 50 now, I don't know where my little calculation went, but if it's good for 50 now and he has a revenue of 35 million, then I just did a ratio, and I said if he hits his projections, then his 2004 projections, then it would be worth 80. So it has to be somewhere between 50 and 80 million.
Where did you find the 50 million?
They valued it at 50. It was on page. Or that's what they were expecting. I don't remember where it was, but I remember that number.
Yeah, 50 million.
It was. I have that 299. They valued it at 100.
Oh, that wasn't too far off.
2000. They valued it at 129. So I'm not sure where you're finding 50.
That was the previous post money, right?
It was page 8 is where they talked about that the acquisition was willing to pay 50 million.
So they were saying, yeah, it was 50. They valued it at 50 million, but then it was saying that they needed 2 to 3 times the last round's post money valuation, and that's what you were talking about.
Yeah,
with the 129, right?
On page 6, it says the post money valuation was 129 million.
Well, that's if you go with a on page 6.
Yeah, on page 6, the second full paragraph, it says Right Now closed on a 16 million Series B round led by Summit Partners. The post money valuation was $129 million.
Oh yeah, that was the IPO that failed because of the economy.
No, that was the Series B round of funding. They closed on the Series B round, not an IPO.
Oh, 16 million. Oh, that's a Series B. Okay.
So the value was 129 million in 2000. It's got to be more than that now.
I did a spreadsheet where I was talking about they needed 2 to 3 times last round's post money valuation. So that'd be between 2 and 3 times. That's where I got my range. Was doing 2 to 3 times the post money valuation, which was 258 million to 387 million.
When you say the post money valuation, are you talking about the 129 million that I was looking at?
It's called the previous post money. Yeah, that.
Okay.
And so that gave the range of 258 million to 387 million.
Okay. And that's the range that the VC investors would want it to be for a buyout. But I don't know, do you guys think that it's at that? Do you think that's a good valuation for it at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then why would he ever sell it for 50 million?
That's what I never saw the 50 million, so I'm still missing that. You said it was on page 8?
Yeah, the offer. The offer and the options.
A multiple of many times sales. They were going to pay this multiple on the revenue run rate, so we don't know what the multiple is.
The multiplier?
Yeah, so it sounded as though the acquirer was willing to pay this multiple on Right Now's revenue run rate, 50 million. The sales of 35 million. So I think the 50 million is their revenue run rate, and they were going to pay a multiple on that.
The way I understood it is they needed at least 2 or 3 times multiplier, whatever.
Right. No, and so I did what you're talking about, Haley, and I got that same thing you did. But Mike is looking at this paragraph on page 8, where it talks about what the acquirer was willing to pay.
Well, let me do a search on my PDF because I think Michelle was the one that mentioned page 8, and I didn't dispute it, but there was some place where they said the offer was fair at $50 million.
No, the second paragraph up from the bottom on page 8 says that the acquirer was willing to pay this multiple on the revenue run rate, approximately $50 million. But I think they're saying that the revenue
the company at $50 million.
No, they're saying the revenue run rate is $50 million, and they're going to pay a multiple on that. That's how I read it. I could be wrong.
Well, what's a multiple mean? You're going to multiply it by something?
Yeah, multiply it by something. I don't know what multiple they were willing to pay. It just talked about a multiple of many times sales. I don't know.
Oh, but they were willing to use the 50 as the basis instead of the 35.
Instead of the 35, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I missed the multiple thing of it. Well, that means, yeah, okay. No, I think you're on the right track there because, yeah, if in 2000 they had basically an evaluation of 129 million. Okay, well, how about this? Let's do a ratio on what was their revenue in 2000?
The revenue in 2000 was 11.3 million.
11.3 million, so that's like 3 times as much. Okay, so it should be worth, I don't know, does it go like that? In other words, 11 million.
That's what Haley was 2 to 3 times.
Okay, yeah, I think it'd be worth like 3 times.
It could be 3 times.
That'd be like $400 million.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just going by revenue, you just want to set up a ratio.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Michelle?
I had a hard time figuring this one out because I Google it and I search it. Like, I'm not really good at this class. This is what I decided. I'm in week 9 and I just don't know if I understand all of it. Like, I understand until they start talking numbers, and then I don't, like you, I start picking out things. I'm like, is this even right? Am I even in the right spot? And then I'm like, Mike, back up what this says here. So I'm like, both of you. So I don't know what the valuation is. My valuation I put on there, I put $300 million, but I don't even know where I got that number.
What number did you put?
I read it somewhere, and I have chicken scratch somewhere, but I never, it's like you read it over and over, and then I get more confused. So I have no thoughts except for that.
Well, your 300 is in Haley's range, the 258 to 387. So you're in the ballpark.
No, it's like, but I can't follow my notes back to where I got that. This is my problem. Is it does, but I like with Mike's, it makes sense with that whole, that I must have missed that also, that multiple run rate, like that I completely missed, but I don't even have that in my numbers, so it doesn't really matter. But it just said that he felt that whatever they were offering was fair that he felt it was fair for them to acquire that company. So I just wish I could figure out what that end number would have been.
Well, they're not gonna offer as much as an IPO. So I think it's come down. It's obviously, it's not going to be a multiple of, if it was 400 million from 50, that would be a multiple of 8. So that's not going to happen. It might be a multiple of 2 or something like that. I don't know.
So with those numbers, they were hoping to get a multiple of somewhere between 5 and 8, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what the VC investors want.
They said that 5 and 8.
Yeah, if you take the number that Becky and I were talking about, the multiplier between 2 and 3, and come up with the 258 to 387, and then you take that 50 million and divide it, you get 5.16 for a
multiplier.
Multiplier between 5.16 and 7.74 is the multipliers that they're expecting based on that 50 million value or whatever that they were expecting. The numbers made sense
And
earlier.
that's
Follow me.
Exactly. They make sense when you read
right. The
it.
venture
Like,
capitalists
they
just
have
want to
the
make
answer.
sure it's 2 to 3 times.
Okay. How did you figure out the multiplier?
Because on the bottom, the last paragraph on page 8, venture capitalists would need a step up of at least 2 to 3 times the last round's post-money valuation.
Yeah.
So what he's doing is taking the last round's
Somebody's cat.
which was 129, and multiplying it by 2 to 3, right? Which gives that range of 258 to 387 million. So then she was going backwards from that to find the multiplier. If we're doing a multiplier of something times 50 to get to that range.
I see.
I don't know that we need to find the multiplier, but
I did not have that highlighted, that 2 to 3 times.
yeah.
I mean, I highlighted a bunch, but I missed that.
The only thing I highlighted on that whole page was that 2 to 3 times.
Okay. All right. Okay, so
Moving on.
Okay.
so they want 2 to 3 times the 129.
The venture capitalists do. That
Okay.
doesn't mean that's what the company's valued at. But Mike, I like how you looked at their revenue and said, hey, their revenue is 3 times what it was in 2000, so maybe their valuation would be.
Well, that comes to 322, so that's right between.
Right in the range.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense too.
Well, I would have been way off without this meeting. Oh, and maybe that's my aha moment.
There you
There
go.
you go.
That's the hardest part of those write-ups. What was your
Totally bad moment with my aha moment. I was working really hard on another class, and I go to do this aha moment, and I totally wrote my aha moment from I'm pretty sure it was HR.
I've done that before. And I submitted the completely wrong paper, but yet obviously they don't get read very well because you're like, hey, I'm like, that had nothing to do with the class, but thanks.
And I said, I don't know. I think he commented, good thought. It's like,
yeah,
perfect.
okay.
You obviously didn't read
right.
that.
You ready
so,
for the
Mike,
next
how did you get
question?
your number?
Next question.
Mike, wait, how did you get your number, Mike?
I just looked at I made a ratio, just a simple ratio of 130 million compared to its revenue at the time, which was 11. And so if the revenue was 35 now, that's 3 times as much. And so I multiplied 130 million times 3 is about 400 million, 400 million.
Got it.
So then I just said, well, 3 to 4 then.
Okay.
So there's 2 ways to the same place.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's good.
Kind of leads us to the next question, but I don't know that I totally understand the next question. Eggs investors seek a 30 to 50% internal rate of return. What exit value will they expect? And I don't know what the internal rate of return is, so I don't know how to answer that question.
Between 42 million and 48,000. Or 48 million, sorry.
Okay, tell us how you got there, Haley.
Series A and Series B round add up to 32.4 million.
What adds up to 32.4 million?
Series A and Series B financing. This made sense when I did it.
Okay.
So give me a second. 30% of, or 30. I'm going to show you my spreadsheet, okay?
Cool.
I can figure out how to do that right now. You want to see this one?
That's a high rate of return.
Yeah, wanting the. So what's
Or
internal rate of return? What's internal rate of return mean?
That means what the company expects to get back from their money.
Screen now.
So the amount that they invest, they want a certain percentage back.
They want to get back 30 to 50% more than that.
Got it. Okay.
So 30% more than the 32 million that was, and I probably could have broke it down further, but I just added the two together. So 30% of the 32 million total invested was 42 million, and then the 50% was 48 million.
And where do you get the 32 for?
32 was the two series added together.
So 16.4 million in 99 and 26.9 in 2000, those two numbers?
I don't know. I, for some reason, ended up with 16 and 16.
16.4 and 99. Wait, I got the wrong number for the other one.
I thought
and then another 16 million in 2000. Yep. So that's 32.4. Okay, I get it.
Oh, that just got bad. What the heck just happened? There we go. Can you see it better now?
Yep.
That's my IRR figures. Anyway, there you go.
Oh, that's perfect. Here, show that again. I'll just take a snapshot of it.
You just want me to send it to you?
You're so smart, Haley.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I do outside research.
Well, so do I. I do a lot of Googling of what the terms mean. That doesn't mean that it helps me.
I spent a great deal of time occasionally watching other case analysis, other classes.
Oh.
They're on there.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway. Do you want me to just send it to you, Mike?
Yeah. Well, I think if you just want to send it to all of us, that's cool. Thank you.
It
is. That answers that question. So the next question says, provide your analysis of each of the options Greg is considering. Based on your analysis, what should Greg do? Consider Greg's goals as well as the goals of everyone else who is involved in this venture. So what do you guys think he should do and why?
Well, I didn't have the right numbers. But I think it might be the same answer.
Okay.
I thought he should just, it sounds like he wants to keep running it and make it bigger on his own. Mm-hmm. He has some money. He has a second wave of the series, right? Series B.
Well, my thoughts are he's just going to start another business again, so why the heck not just keep doing this one? He's plenty successful at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he can make, if he can get a payday of, let's see, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. If he can get a payday of $154 million out of that, why not wait later and get more?
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Of course, I was basing my thing on 50 to 80 million. But now he's looking at 300 plus.
Oh, that's just what. That's not all everything he takes out of it.
Well,
that's the value of the business.
Yeah,
he's not getting that.
That's right. He's getting 60% of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, he'll take out 154. Investor cut is 103 if it's valued, whatever the two times multiplier is.
So it's funny because I agree with you guys. So I want to see what Michelle thought.
I actually thought that he should accept the acquisition and grow with the larger company.
What? We're supposed to agree, Michelle.
I know, but this week I thought, you know what? I think that because he's considering it, I think that he wants to do it because he likes to start new companies. I think he's done with this one and he wants to start something new.
See, I didn't get the feeling that he likes to start new. I feel like he did the last one and was like, oh, this is cool, I can retire. And then he was bored.
Exactly. So I think that he always has to stay busy. So I'm thinking that by doing this, he can start fresh and do something else.
Do you want a spoiler alert?
No, not yet.
No.
Not yet.
So I was going for option 1 this week, which I find myself very oddly, because I'm always like rooting for like, no, grow your company by yourself, stay in control. But this one I'm like, nope, it's time to move on.
See, but I also, the other thing that spoke to me in the case is when they talked about that other people in that industry were kind of slimy sleazeballs, and they wanted to change that around, and he didn't want to exit it. I felt like he really wanted to change that reputation, and he also said that he wanted to create the best company, or there's some line in there where he wanted to create the greatest technology company, and here he has a chance to do that and to change the reputation. And if he gets out now, then he's kind of fallen short of that goal.
Well, yeah, my thought, he set out to employ what? Days?
A bunch of people, and prove that you could do it in Montana, which he obviously is making it work.
Yeah, he hasn't met his goal. I think if he sells now, he's he's basically giving up.
Yeah, but I think that with his small company, he doesn't have the resources that he needs, and he needs a larger company to help him get to where he wants to be.
I can see that point.
I mean,
and that's why that's my same argument as why I said, okay, he should sell because of this, but he shouldn't sell because of this. So
yeah. I think it comes down to the argument every week. It comes down to what are the priorities? Is it more of the value, or is it, to the person, or is it more about the money? I don't think in this case it's really about the money. I think he has.
It's not about the money.
But I think,
and that was my thought too. Why sell? He doesn't need the money.
Exactly. But I just keep thinking, well, it seems like he wants to grow, and we've talked about this before. Is it better to grow faster, or is it better to watch the slow growth? What does he want? I think he wants a little bit of both. He can't find that happy medium in this thing. So I think that's why he's torn between these solutions. But that was just my only thing, is the resources that he
Michelle convinced me. Michelle convinced me.
Oh
no. Dark side.
I was thinking, he hasn't accomplished his I'm sorry. Yeah, based on the higher values, I can go either way. It doesn't matter. I won't be a spoiler here.
Becky, let's get back.
She convinced me in the sense that now, if I could remember, there were so many. Just the fact that the technology could change so quickly. This would become obsolete in 3 years.
Right, but it's not going to, because the way they're setting it up, they're able to adjust and change quickly. And I think he also talked about that there were 4 reasons that his company was going to be able to outdo the competitors, that the competitors wouldn't be able to keep up. So to me, he knows he's going to be able to keep growing it. They have a really good business model, right? They're really able to respond to their customers' needs and change up. And I think his personal goals, that he wants to create a really good, the best company, and I don't know. I think he should stay. And he doesn't need the money. If it were about that, then
not
maybe.
About the money this time around.
No, and it's not. The company doesn't need the money either. So they don't need an IPO. They're only considering an IPO for the marketing piece, but I don't think they really need the marketing.
Right, but if you think about it, he wanted to have a business base with 2,000 employees, and he's 1,600 employees short. He needs to be acquired to get that resource to hire more employees. I don't think he has the potential to hire all the employees he needs to grow and not become obsolete.
I think he could do it. He might have to open another location.
There's a point I didn't consider.
But the company is making money. They're what they call it, cash positive or something.
Fast.
Right.
So he could, and with the way they're growing, I think he could easily open another location and hit that goal.
I think.
Right, but with growth,
I saw a figure somewhere.
Costs.
I saw a figure somewhere. He was growing at like 131% or something like that. What was it?
But if you think of all the operational costs, he'd have to still grow the company. So is that going to balance itself out, or is it going to swallow him up?
I think it'll balance. I think they've really done a lot of growth, and they got a really great business model, and I think they just need to keep going.
One of my whole points is he's just going to get bored again and start something else. So why not keep going with the success he already has?
Because this one is really successful.
Yes, he's so successful with this. Come on, Mike.
And it's not like, remember that other case we read earlier in the semester where the guy kept starting new stuff, right? He was always starting new stuff and selling it. I didn't get that feeling from this guy. He wanted to create a really good, awesome technology company. And that's why he went back into it. And he's doing that. He has the potential to do that with this company.
I just like seeing someone else argue instead of just only me. No, I mean, definitely, I don't think it should be one of the IPO options. I mean, they went through, they went a whole page about how terrible all the risks and all the, everything, all the problems with that. So it's either keep it and grow it, or sell it outright.
I love that line where they said you were a good house in a bad neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah.
That was something I could relate to. Like that's the way to look at a business, is something that you can relate to. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
You ready for your spoiler now?
Yeah, because we don't have any other questions. So
okay. Right now Technologies files for a $60 million IPO in 2004.
So they went for the IPO.
For the IPO?
Weird. And only 60 million.
That is weird.
Yeah. It was a year later. That's about what they were expecting.
That's a lot less than the valuations we were talking about.
They reported its, let's see, Right Now Technologies, based in Bozeman, Montana, reported its first profit of $162,000 in the first quarter, and that ended March 31st, according to the company's S1 IPO registration statement filed with the securities. Blah, blah, blah. Something about a bunch of net losses. Anyway, you want that link.
Weird.
Wow. That would have been my last option.
And they are also acquired by Oracle in 2011.
Oracle bottom.
Oh, but that wasn't until 2011. So
right.
Yeah, that means they had to go through the downturn.
Their parent company is now Oracle Corporation, and they ceased operations October 24th, 2011.
Wow.
Wow, they got swallowed up, huh? What did they get for in 2011?
That I don't know. This is just right now. It sold to Oracle for $1.8 billion.
Billion? Whoa, that's a big chunk of change. Wow. Well, I did a little research too. I recognize this name, Giaforte.
Oh yeah? What'd you find out?
Him?
No.
In this last election, he's the one that body slammed the reporter who kept bugging him about asking him questions. And he ended up, it was like in the week before the election, like 3 days before the election, he body slams this guy, hits all the papers. He came out and apologized, and he won the election.
The link for that.
What?
He won the election for the state of California?
No, it was in Montana.
Oh.
Weird. So he went on to politics.
So there's two links there that I just posted.
In Congress now.
One's for that body slamming deal, and one's for the IPO. Anyway.
What about the body slamming?
I just posted a link to an article about it.
Oh, yeah.
I Google fast.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, good job. Huh.
Yeah, he's one of America's congressmen now.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Well, this was a nice kind of short chat here.
Yeah.
What do you think of the quiz, that bootstrap quiz that he wrote?
Oh, I took that.
Got it.
I didn't look at it.
You didn't look at it? Oh, you should take it.
You should take the quiz.
I rated. I gave myself an 8.5 because I changed one of the ones I got wrong. But I got 2 wrong. I got 8.
Working a startup?
What?
So you got 8.5. So you should do a startup.
Well, it says I can work for a startup, so it doesn't mean I can start one.
Got it.
Work for a startup. I just can't start one up. Obviously, because I don't have these numbers anyway, so that was perfect.
Which question did you get wrong?
Let's see. I got number 9 wrong.
Oh,
Because,
me too.
you know, you did? That's so funny, Mike. See, this is why we're on the same page tonight. And I got number 4 wrong, which I find weird.
Ah.
I guess I just don't know what to do. And I gotta see, because I wrote my little notes, and you know how like you do, you change them. So which one did I fix? Oh, I got number 7 wrong. That's the other one that I marked.
Oh, I got 8. Got 8 is the one that I thought I had the right answer, and then I changed my mind. But so you got, okay, you got 4 wrong. I mean, number 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a fun little quiz.
It's just interesting. Makes you kind of think about what we've learned so far up to now.
What?
That was kind of a quiz of what kind of knowledge have we started gaining up to now?
Becky,
the company. It just is kind of one of those things that, okay, so we've read about a lot of companies, so now what? I think it was a good, fun quiz just like to see how much knowledge we have.
Yeah, I thought it was a good little test. But I didn't know what bootstrapping was. There was a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know what ASP was, and I had to look that up, and I forget what else. What was that other acronym? Oh, CRM. I didn't know what CRM was.
Yep. It tells you the definitions in the thing, but unless you like read to understand what that really means.
Right. I mean, that's what I meant. I know the definitions were in there, but.
Yeah. No, I did the same thing. Like I always have to look up every week. How do you do evaluation on a company? I don't know.
So we basically have Giaforte to thank for the change in the way software is sold.
Yeah, so I was looking at the software. So what kind of companies, because it didn't really say what companies, what kind of people would use his software?
Any big company that needs you know.
Yeah, but it says, so it's like a customer thing where you can go online and you can ask questions. Would that be like your, let's just say, looking for something and it directs you to send this is the most frequently asked question? Is that what he does?
I don't think so. I think, well, I mean, he started with just a way of managing your email, but then he went into the whole customer service route. You know, in other words, how does a company manage its customers? You know, I mean, as far as, you know, I guess, you know, like when they buy things, how much they buy, and it's all kind of pulling it together so that you can be good to your good customers and find out who your good customers are and treat them well.
Right, but by doing what? This is why I just, like, I kind of got it, but then I'm like, I don't even know what this means. Because it never said what kind of companies used his product. But he found a product that companies could use. So I just don't.
Well, when I worked at Lockheed, they had that SAP, you know, which they talked about here. And it was a bear. It was a monster. I mean, people would spend hours and hours, weeks, months, you know, trying to learn this, how to do this, because it's like it connect the whole business. And Lockheed is this huge business, you know. So it like inventory and materials and personnel and HR functions, and it just pulled everything in. It was like this big monster. And I think, you know, he said that his market was targeted for not the enterprise corporations, like, you know, the huge ones, but just smaller companies that needed, you know, HR services or you know, customer services. And, you know, they could get them online through their browser. You know, I don't know.
All right. I just was very confused just by, like, I didn't understand, but Like what is it that he actually did? But obviously was successful, but that explains a little bit more for that.
Have you guys looked
Because
at
of it
the
said,
other
you know,
one
he had a few
we're doing
competitors.
this week?
What,
Huh?
Becky?
Have you guys looked at the other one we're doing this week individually?
I printed it.
Yeah.
Oh, the copper ring?
Yeah, that's a
Carbon
crazy
ring?
situation he's gotten himself into.
I haven't
Yeah.
read that one yet. I have other things due tonight, in fact, that I got in another class.
Maybe wants a hamburger.
All right, well, I think we're done.
I guess we're done then.
We didn't have to do a summary or vote on anything.
Well, we kind of summarized it in the
Yeah.
last, about 10 minutes ago for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks.
Well, so see you guys next week.
Okay.
Oh, who's organizing next week?
Oh, I guess that's me.
Is that you?
Do we have one or two next week?
I don't know.
Somebody
haven't
look
looked.
quick. I'm wondering.
There's one.
I hate doing two.
I know.
Why
think-
doesn't one of us concentrate on one and the next person in line, Haley, can concentrate on the other, and let's just do one each time.
That'll work.
I mean, instead of
There are two.
feeling lucky or whatever, you know.
Oh, there are two. Can I do Noodles and Company? That's my favorite place.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I hate
no.
Noodles and Company.
I studied that in another class.
Me too.
I think I have two.
I think we were in the class together, Becky, and we didn't know it.
Probably.
Which
Mike,
one do you
I'm
want
doing
to do?
Noodles and Company. You take Progresso.
Which one?
Next week's there's Noodles and Company and Progresso. Do you want to do Progresso? I'll do Noodles and Company.
Oops, I'm looking at the wrong class. Sorry.
We're still just going to do one video, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just the discussion leader. You guys will each be discussion leader. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, because it's just like too much. Oh, so you want to do the Noodle and Company?
That's my favorite place.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
It's an overrated noodle company.
We don't have it up here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Haley, what do you want to do?
Noodles.
Okay, you want to do the Noodle Company? I'll do the other one.
So who's sending out the link?
What, for this week?
Next week.
Who's going to set up the meeting?
Oh, I'll start it if you want. I mean, because it's officially my week, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll
All
just
right.
pass it off. I mean, I'll do the first one and I'll say, okay, Haley's going to do the next one.
Okay,
And we'll
All
keep it on the same
right.
tape and everything.
perfect.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
All right. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, thank you all.